while waiting my slides to come, let's have a big round of applause for our Matan, who did a magical show for enabling the underprivileged globally. Thank you, Matan. And also the TMTG group for putting together this event, and the wonderful LBC coin. So I'm personally very much interested in these two areas. So I think both the coins are in the cutting edge, and healthcare especially is very much needed globally, and LBC team has put together a wonderful stem cell related coin. So my name is Harikishan Eppanapolly. I am in the financial services industry for the last 30 years, in New York primarily, but originally born in India. I'm here to talk about what is happening in the financial services industry and the blockchain and the crypto and all these new technologies that are, how it's going to drive the new digital economy. So if you look at it, what internet did to the media in the early 90s, the blockchain is going to do for the financial services industry. I think you are in the right place, and you invested into this crypto space, and the crypto is going to stay, it's not going to go away. So I just want to let you know that even the banks are working in the crypto space. Only thing is banks are regulated heavily, so they are very patient and making sure that the regulations come before they launch their own cryptos. So in this crypto blockchain space, there are few things, the smart contracts, as most of you are familiar with, and then also the digital currencies. Then you have also the securitization and record keeping. Especially in the healthcare industry, the personal health information is very private, and you want to make sure that that is protected, and the blockchain is going to ensure that. So in general, blockchain is going to simplify the transactions and also reduce the overheads by eliminating the middlemen and increase the speed of processing, then free up dollars because you are eliminating the middlemen. Then also it is stronger in terms of relationship peer-to-peer. That's what blockchain is going to ensure. So there are different types of blockchains. There's a public blockchains, there's a federated blockchains, and there's a private blockchains. And there are several platforms that are enabling the various platform blockchain related projects. And there's Hyperledger from IBM, Ethereum, R3, Ripple, multi-chain. Most of you are probably familiar with this. Then what is happening in this R3 consortium? So this is about a couple of hundred companies brought together to make sure the blockchain is used for various purposes in the industry. There are financial services companies, there are supply chain companies, there are consumer related companies, there are so many of these things. And they have their own ways of doing these things. And they have their own utility settlement coins initiated from these various companies. So the blockchain tokens that you're already familiar with, and today we have TMTG token as well as the LBC token, and there are several other tokens. Bitcoin you have, and most of you probably invested into Bitcoin. So there are several ecosystems in the blockchain so that the interoperability happens and trading of your coins, there's an exchanges, and also there's a platforms to provide various avenues to develop your use cases. So I'm focusing today on the financial services side, how this decentralized economy is going to work. So identity, most of this today, your identity is controlled by somebody else. When you log into Google, so they have your identity, but you want to manage. There's a lot of complaints to went into Google. So now today you can manage your identity. That's one of the decentralization. And also decentralized marketplaces. Then you have decentralized computing and storage. Then you have reimaging of macro and micro economies using the blockchain technology. So in the financial services industry, there are retail banks, there are securities, there are insurance companies, trade financing, and investment banking. So these are the areas where these banks are already working, and they have their own blockchain-based solutions coming up, and they have their own crypto internally being tested today. So for example, Bank of America has filed several patents, and also they have their own internal wire transfer system being tested. Then you have Goldman Sachs for a settle coin, and JP Morgan has got several patents and they're testing their web cash token. And then you have Citibank and BNY Mellon has got their own Bitcoins. So it's not that the banks are not following the blockchain and crypto area. They are working behind the scenes, but these are all regulated industry. So they cannot come up so aggressively like the rest of the world is happening, and they are waiting on the fence for the regulators to come up with proper guidelines to make it happen. So the key for banks and the financial services, the security is the issue, the scalability, the speed, and also the interoperability. If a few of the countries have to take the lead to bite the bullet and say this is how it's going to work, and they need to define the rules and adapt some of those within those countries, probably other countries will follow. Probably Korea can take that lead. So with this, I would like to congratulate all of you who invested into TMTG and also looking into investing into LBC. I think they are wonderful opportunities for you to consider, and I came all the way to be part of this celebration. Thank you so much for having me.